I will call the regular meeting of the Board of Education, which was duly noticed on January 9th, 2026, through posting and notification of the press in accordance with Wisconsin State Statute 19.84. 3.1, Pledge of Allegiance. Commissioner Johnson.
Yes, thank you. Today we welcome Kelly Kaminsky, who is principal at Roosevelt Elementary School. This is her second year in this role at Roosevelt. However, Kelly is no newcomer to the field of education. She has served her entire professional career in education as a teacher, school counselor, assistant principal, summer school principal, and interim principal. Her views on school leadership have also been shaped by her own experience as a parent of two children who are now adults. Kelly knows only too well how deeply families care about their children's well-being and learning. All families want the very best for their children. Roosevelt's mission is to build character and grow minds each day. Kelly and her team foster academic excellence while helping students develop into thoughtful, responsible, and compassionate individuals. Principal Kaminsky, whom did you bring with you today?
Eli and Lily Storms. So I have the distinct honor of introducing our two rock star Rough Riders. Eli is a fifth grader in Miss Callio's challenge class. Eli is a model citizen in his fifth grade classroom. He is always one of the first students to follow directions and be counted on to set a good example for his classmates. Eli's favorite thing to do is to write amazingly imaginative stories in Book Creator during free writing time. And Lily is a third grader in Miss Dascom's class. Lily is the class president of Miss Dascom's third grade class. She was voted class president by her peers because she consistently treats everyone with respect and kindness and loves to help out. She's very responsible, puts learning first, and is a true role model at Roosevelt. Lily enjoys all subjects in third grade, but said that she especially enjoys math, reading, and art.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great job, guys. Tell mom and dad to take you out for ice cream. Uh-oh. Sorry. All right. We're on to 3.2, adopt the January 13th, 2026 Board of Agenda. I have a motion by Commissioner Paul, a second by Commissioner Damerhausen. Any questions? All those approved? Aye. All right, that passes 8-0 with Commissioner Murray absent. 3.3, safety message, Commissioner Ardrey.
See something, say something. Empowering students and staff to report, I'll also say community, to report concerns, combined with stay aware, stay safe, emphasizing alertness to both physical, stranger danger, traffic, and digital threats, cyberbullying, to foster a vigilant, responsible, and inclusive community where everybody feels safe to learn and grow. Key themes include awareness, reporting, preparedness, and inclusivity, addressing physical, cyber, and social safety. Just a few things to keep in mind. Safety is a mindset. It is not a checklist. Model safe behavior and create positive, supportive environments everywhere we're at. You can educate the unsafe. You can't educate the unsafe. A secure environment is foundational for learning. Together, we build a safer school environment. Awareness is protection. It is key to be prepared, not scared. Now a little more focus on students themselves. Be alert, be aware, be prepared. Pay attention to your surroundings, both online and offline, and know your school's safety plan. Those drills are important. If you see something, say something. Report bullying, threats, or suspicious behavior to trusted adults immediately. Safety in numbers and kindness. Stick with friends when walking, and be inclusive to make others feel welcome and less vulnerable. Protect your digital footprint. Who would ever think we'd have to talk about that? Be smart about sharing personal information online to avoid cyberbullying and online dangers. Thank you.
Thanks. All good things to keep at the forefront of your mind. All right, 3.4, now we have the honor and recognition of St. Craig, Parker, and Rock University High School ACT scholars. And it looks like the first one up is Principal Chris Lau.
Good evening. It's a pleasure to be here this evening along with Dr. Bion and Dr. Hernandez. We're here to present to you our students who scored a 30 or higher on the ACT. Just as our teachers and staff have been working really hard to better understand the ACT, our students have been working really hard to understand, improve their scores, and produce at high levels. So we have a number of students from all three schools that we're happy to have here tonight. We do have some missing. It might be a little bit due to a basketball event that's happening in a little while too, but we're going to recognize all of them nonetheless. The first student I have to recognize is Cooper Buell. Noteworthy thing about Cooper, he had a perfect score. Yes, far greater than his principal scored. Ryder Rizou. Landon Bolton. Ariana Dean. And Saturn Ellis. Students that we're recognizing that are not here with us this evening: Alexander Valley, Evan Hornung, Audrey Osmond, Val Hilker, Nicholas Bowers, Abigail Franke, Julia Jones, and Dalen Schilling. So congratulations to everyone. Next, I'd like to invite Dr. Bion up to the podium.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for giving us the opportunity to recognize some of our students' incredible academic achievements. I want to mention one thing about all of the students here tonight. So with a 30-plus ACT score, these students have scored at the 95th percentile in the nation, right? So they are outperforming 95% of all of the students in the United States who took this test. All right, so with me this evening, I'd like to recognize Azaria Baldock. Oh, yeah, you gotta shake it.
Right here. Oh, waiting for it, right here.
Jadzia Baldock. Parker Eddington. Grayson Ellis. And Landon Guernsey. And then unable to join us here this evening, Allison Wood. I should mention, she had a 35. She just missed the perfect score by a point. Yeah. She probably should get a round of applause for that. Shannon Duffy, Samuel Piper, James Newberry, Noah Carter, Alexis Hansen, Olivia Wally, and Camilla Grania, all also got a 30 or higher on their ACT. Thank you.
Good evening. Dr. Hernandez here with Rock University. We have two students that had a 30 or higher on the ACT. With me tonight, we have Ava Rowowski. And then we have one student that wasn't able to make it with us tonight, and that is Nathan Burrell.
Wow. Say that again, wow. Congratulations to all of those students. I always appreciate the fact that we both bring, since I've been on the board, both student athletes and then academic. I really think celebrating the wins of the school district is so important. So I appreciate all the parents that came and the support that you provide, because those scores, parents, do not happen without you. You know, those are your creations there. So thank you for the support and the environment that you've put those students in to make it in advance this far. So I know that won't stop. So just thank you for being there to support them as well. So thank you. Okay, 3.5, student presenters to the school board from Craig High School. Caitlin Kessler. Welcome. What exciting news do you have for us?
Good evening, everyone. I hope you all had a wonderful time during the holidays over these last few weeks. I'm excited to be back to share more that has been happening at Craig. To start off, Craig's Blue Ribbon of Promise participated in a small act of kindness as they handed out candy canes to students entering the building for school on the Friday before Christmas break to spread some holiday cheer. Many students participated in Bags of Hope before Christmas break. National Honor Society students went to the Bags of Hope at Dollar General, where bags of food were put together and given to families, and Interact members had their own Bags of Hope at Festival Foods, where they delivered to Riverview Apartments. This past Saturday, our DECA Club traveled to DeForest High School to compete in the district's competition. As one of the largest chapters in attendance, our students demonstrate exceptional leadership and professionalism. We had 74 competitors, and there were 48 first-time competitors. Many of our students medaled or placed at the competition. Student Council held a fundraiser this Saturday as a Badger tailgate for the Guarding Against Cancer Foundation. This was a community-wide effort involving students, athletes, and families. They filled the field house full of activities including spike ball, giant Jenga, can jam, and football. They also had music, a coloring station, and face painting done by National Art Honor Society. They had food, drinks, and baked goods as well. At the fundraiser, they sold Best Seat in the House raffle tickets for the Craig vs. Parker game that is taking place tonight. One student was picked to watch the game in a lounge chair with snacks and a friend. Student Council also tasked each grade's class officers with the goal to secure local business partners to provide matching donations for the funds we raised. So far, after the event, Student Council raised about $750. They continued to sell Best Seat in the House tickets up until today, and they will continue to sell snacks, baked goods, and soda around the school. Tonight, I would like to share the tradition that has become a cornerstone of our school's identity. This year marks the 10th annual Martin Luther King Assembly, a milestone that represents a decade of student voice, leadership, and a commitment to the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. This year's assembly took place this morning during school. It's important to remember where we started from and why we started this tradition. A decade ago, our school did not have the day off to observe Martin Luther King Jr. Day. While that could have been a source of simple frustration, a dedicated group of students, partnering with Dr. Bion, decided that if we were going to be in school, we were going to make it count. They felt that the day required more than just a mention, it required a commemoration. What began as a small initiative with outside guest speakers has undergone a powerful evolution. Our students didn't just want to listen, they wanted to participate. Today, this assembly is entirely student-led and student-created. Every year, our peers take the stage to share their truths. This is not just a history lesson, it's a living, breathing expression of our community through original speeches, creative arts, and collaborative planning. The assembly includes original speeches that students write from their own lived perspectives. It also showcases creative arts, including powerful musical pieces from Craig's band, visual art presentations, and dance performances. Lastly, the assembly takes a lot of collaborative planning. Every element is curated by the student body to reflect the issues that were taking place in the past, as well as the issues that still matter to us today. This year's theme is particularly resonant. More than words, the nonviolent way to connection and unity. In a world that often feels divided, our students are choosing to explore how nonviolence isn't just a historical tactic, but a modern pathway to genuine human connection. The MLK Assembly has taught us that we don't have to wait for permission to lead. It has turned a once frustrating schedule into a highly anticipated event of our school year. It reminds us that while words are a start, it is our actions, our art, and our unity that truly help things progress. As we mark this 10th year, we are reminded that our school is more than just a place of study. It is a community where student voices shape our culture. We appreciate your continued support in providing a platform where we can turn these important values into action, where student perspectives are valued, and where our growth as leaders is made possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Caitlin. And now from Parker High School, Peyton Gutzman or Gutzman? Gutzman. The German in me wants to say Gutzman.
I know.
Sorry.
Only a little bit of German in me. Okay, so good evening, everyone. For those of you guys who might not know me yet, my name is Peyton Gutzman. I'm currently the Parker Student Presenter this year, which I love doing. So I'm here to talk about something that happens every single January, which many of us, students and staff alike, sometimes treat as another piece of paperwork. That is the course selection process. From now through the first week of February, students at Parker will be working with teachers, counselors, and parents to plan the rest of their high school careers. In a comprehensive high school, our course catalog is more than just a list of classes. It's a map for our future. Whether a student is planning on attending a four-year university, enlisting in the military, entering a trade, or going straight into the workforce, the decision that we make in the window defines our readiness for graduation day. However, there's a reality to this process that many students don't see. Our choices drive the school's heartbeat. When we select a course, we aren't just picking a class, we're essentially voting on how the school's resources should be used. The data from our selections determines which teachers are hired, how many sections of a lab are open, and how many daily schedules are going to be built. Throughout my high school career, I've met many teachers who have pushed me to take a class like TC Speech and Avid, which have ultimately given me the opportunity to start speaking at more events and given me the opportunity to decide that my future career will be a college admissions counselor. I made this decision off of classes that I've taken and resources that Parker has given me, which made me realize that I want to be able to help students go through the transition from high school to college. Parker's given me a chance to be a leader, speak out to the public, and most importantly, try new things I wouldn't have expected. Because our school uses a request to hire staff and assign classrooms, we have to understand that this is a final commitment. There's no do-overs in September. If we decide to take the selection process seriously now, we risk missing out on the prerequisites that we need for college and specialized electives that give us a head start on our final career. I'm asking the board to continue supporting the resources that make the guidance possible. I'm calling on my fellow students to view this process with gravity that it deserves. We shouldn't be choosing classes based on what our friends are doing or what seems easy at the time. We should be choosing based on the person that we want to be when we walk across that stage in May. We're building our own foundations, and if we want school to reflect our goals and a schedule that supports our dreams, we have to be the architects that plan it right. Personally, for me, I've made 2 decisions in high school that will affect me in the long run. First off, my freshman year, I chose to take Spanish for all 4 years of high school, bringing me now to AP Spanish. That is now setting me up for my future career and letting me talk to people in more than one language. But my regret from the past 4 years of school is not utilizing the technical college courses that Parker has had to offer, ultimately saving me money in the long run. Because the stakes are high, and this cannot be a journey where students take alone, parent involvement is absolutely vital for this process. When parents and guardians sit down with us to review our choices, it does not and do more than just make sure that a form is getting signed. It starts a conversation about our long-term goals. It allows the parents to provide the big picture and perspective that we, as students, sometimes are able to overlook. We need that partnership to ensure that the courses that we choose today align with our future goals, and we need to share a commitment plan that we've built together as a family. When I was picking classes these last 4 years, my parents have helped me push myself to try harder classes and knowing that I'm ultimately worthy and smart enough to pass AP, TC, and honor courses, ultimately helping me feel prepared for the future, especially college. As I'm getting ready to graduate in Parker High School in June and move on to college, my hopes of becoming a college admissions counselor, thank you for always supporting us and having the school district support our dreams. Thank you guys for your time and continued commitment to our education. And the best of Parker is yet to come, and I'll see all of you guys next month.
Thank you, Peyton.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on, 3.6, citizen comments. We have none this evening, so we will move on to 4.1, consider approval of consent agenda. I have a motion by Commissioner Demmerhausen, second by Commissioner Richardson. All those in favor? Aye. That passes 8-0 with Commissioner Murray absent this evening. All right, moving on to 5.1, presentation and consider approval of 2026-2027 budget development assumptions. Mr. Dan McCray, it says here 15 minutes.
It'll be less,
Okay,
absolutely.
we just wanted to add some levity to the
Yeah,
school
no,
board
no,
meeting.
no,
15
very-
minutes.
Very good. So you have some information with you this evening
Yes.
as part of your board packet. The Finance Committee had the opportunity to review these budget assumptions last evening, and I believe made a recommendation 3-0 to present them to the board for their consideration as well. It's really, I think, fitting that we saw earlier today our student achievement, which is essentially our mission, which is assisting students, achieve their highest potential, right? So the recognition of our ACT individuals who scored over 30 is rather appropriate. There's always the adage or the question is, does the budget reflect the mission, the priorities of the district? And so administratively, we hope to make that recommendation to you. But in doing so, we have parameters in which we need to operate within, and you have those as part of your memo. So real quickly, in the second year of a biennial budget, which is what we are entering, the 26-27 school year, as well as the second year again of the biennial budget, we kind of know some of the broader parameters that the state provides us. So as an example, as a district, all Wisconsin school districts will receive $325 as a per pupil membership increase. There's no increase and equalization aid, and I'm kind of hitting some highlights. Our expenses are projected. The WERC, Wisconsin Employment Relations Commission, just released its base wage percentage, and that is 2.63%. That's the aggregate. We are budgeting 2.5%, or essentially movement within the schedule, as part of our wage increase. Again, these are broad assumptions. These are not necessarily absolutes, but they provide us, if you will, again, the parameters in which you will receive a budget. And I probably skipped ahead a little bit. Administratively, it's our responsibility to present a balanced budget to the board. Concurrently, we're asking the board to adopt a balanced budget as well. So just kind of keep that high level point as we work through the budget development process. We know from a staffing perspective, the board received its staffing assumptions. We're certainly working through staffing, led by Carrie Mickelson and Superintendent Holtzman, as well as support from the directors. You'll receive that information in April. We are assuming some status quo, particularly related to open enrollment, as well as our Janesville International Exchange Program students that come to the district. So I'm hitting some of the highlights. There's probably lots of detail. I'll certainly entertain some questions, but I too recognize there is an athletic event this evening. I don't want to take my full 15 minutes, and certainly I'll open it up to members of the committee if they have some comments relative to the assumptions.
Well, I have to comment. I mean, since we sat through, well, go ahead, Julie, you first.
I just want to point out that it says here, the current projections without adjustments and based on the district's forecast model predict a $1.05 million deficit.
That is correct.
Okay,
Great point.
that's not balanced.
That is unbalanced, so that is what we will work through
Have
to
to
achieve that
find
balanced budget.
$1 million
Excellent point.
to balance a budget.
Correct.
That doesn't sound like any fun. Thanks.
So you guys are lucky. We sat through 2 hours just talking about budget assumptions. It was more like a half hour, but anyway. You know, so a couple things to note, and we go through this every year, and as we think about some of the things, or I think about maybe because I've been around long enough, and some of the important things that we have really to do here. We make assumptions, but then, this would be Greg's comment, we as a board, when we approve things during the year, we say yes to them because they feel good. They're the right thing to do, but we're not necessarily looking at the dollars. Maybe great for the students, maybe great for participants in lacrosse and girls hockey come to mind first, but we're not thinking about necessarily what that really means. And fortunately, I think only Kevin and I had to sit through, you know, there was this law passed in 2011, Act 10, and the result from that, we had to make some draconian cuts. And we're still trying to recover from those. So we can talk about it's great for curriculum adoption and those things. Well, it's great now, but one of the reasons why it's great now is because we didn't have any choices. So that was one of the things that got cut, curriculum adoption. And as we look at just the sheer number of employees, I don't know if we necessarily cut during the year, but then we had to make some decisions as we went into that budget year, because there will be a balanced budget, but balance doesn't necessarily mean soft and easy. That was painful to go through. So I only state those things as just as we look at how important we're setting the stage. We're setting the stage for the development that does go forward. One of the things that sticks out to me is whether great things are happening in the district, but as we look at who we were 10 years ago, and we look at who we are now, well, we see that we have less students. I will not be here if it comes down that the question asked is, well, we have less students, what are we going to do? Back in, I don't know, maybe it was 09, 10, it was, well, what if we had to close the school? What would we do? And I raised my hand because I knew I was going to be here, and I volunteered to lead that effort. Well, clearly, if the numbers continue, we'll be faced with making some hard decisions. So I say all of this coming up, and a little bit of study to go through, what is the population going to look like? And, the trending there. Hopefully I get members from my boundary line committee to review that information. And then just look at where are we at, and then where are we going? And this all feeds into a bit of this, the budget assumption. So thank you for listening to me.
Thank you. All good things and points to make us cognizant of and aware of as we go through this process. So I appreciate that, Commissioner Ardrey. Any other questions? Yes?
The legislative reimbursement for special ed, we budgeted, is supposed to be 45%. We budgeted conservatively at 42%, but we're looking like we're gonna be 40% is what you're telling us.
Yeah, and perhaps I didn't word that sentence correctly. So the first year of the biennial budget, it's expected to be a 42% reimbursement. We budgeted 40. It's currently trending in the very high 30s. You may have read a headline that Governor Evers is proposing an additional increase to special ed. That's a proposal, right? So we'll wait and see what happens. So traditionally, we always budget less because it is a some certain amount that all Wisconsin school districts are competing for.
Right.
So depending upon those expenditures, that will drive every district's reimbursement rate.
My question is that where we're seeing part of that $1 million deficit? Is that, where we budgeted, does that make sense, that question?
Right, so because we budget less, of course, we then have less revenue, which then is driving that deficit.
Right,
It's a contributing factor, it's not the single factor.
okay.
Great
Thank you.
question, thank you.
Any other questions?
I think that begs the question is, what are the largest factors that are driving the deficit?
Well, approximately 75% plus of our budget relates to individuals and people, right? So as we look into the January 27th budget workshop, right? So we're looking at this year, but we're also looking a little more longitudinally, right, into the future. People is the service that we provide, right? So that's really what drives it. There are certainly other factors, whether that's utility costs, insurance costs, transportation costs, right? That, I mean, it all kind of comes together, but again, the largest portion of our budget relates to people.
Again, I'll reference that January 27th workshop on budget assumption. I know I'll be personally printing this memo out, so I'll have it as a reference when you go through some stuff. So I think that'll help us all get a better grasp of that.
The assumptions also are something that we plugged into the forecast model. We had shared that forecast model back with the Finance Committee in November. Again, it's part of the overall board dockets library, right, so to speak. So that's what we use. So when we share that forecast model in January at that workshop, right, there's a couple different versions, if you will, if we do nothing, because again, we're looking somewhat longitudinally, but really one scenario outlines these assumptions, explicitly.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do I have a motion to approve the 2026-2027 budget, 2026-2027 budget development assumptions? Okay, we have a motion by Johnson and second by Damerhausen. Any other further questions for Dan? All right, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? That passes 8-0 with Commissioner Murray absent. Commissioner Paul, you're up.
Hello, it's my turn. I'll try not to do 15 minutes. Dan, you did a good job keeping it short. I'll do my part. Five.
You're welcome.
5? You only gave me 5? Okay, start the timer. We started the January 2026 PPC meeting with a lovely overview of the section of the staff handbook that we were updating. Those updates were presented in the consent agenda in tonight's meeting, so you all have them there and I'm sure reviewed them. The next part of our presentation included an overview of the district course registration process for our high school students, including current 8th graders, and boy, wasn't that appropriate to hear from Peyton tonight. Some of the things she was saying gave me, I got a little teary-eyed because it was just so poignant and reflective. I have an 8th grader right now, and we have been talking, have had many conversations about that schedule, and some things have changed based on meetings. I got to pick Dr. DeGraff's brain and Superintendent Holzman's brain on Monday, and they said, no, you got to do this. And so I'm encouraging parents and families to get involved and ask about those schedules. And I really loved hearing what Peyton had to say tonight about taking things so seriously. That was great. Of course, that wasn't a part of our PPC meeting, but we certainly talked about so many of those topics, which was great. Something, of course, and for us to remember is that the courses that run are arranged based on student enrollment and their interests. So we're not choosing necessarily, but our students are choosing. Of course, they do have requirements that they need to fulfill, but they're leading the way, and I think that's really cool. By the end of January, those sign sheets are due. It's a very complicated process that takes many, many months of work by a lot of people, a lot of scheduling to create the master schedule list. And then students will be receiving their approved class schedule later in the summer months. And if people are wondering why it takes so long, because it takes a long time to put all of that together. Of course, there's more that was covered in the PPC presentation, but I only am given 5 minutes. So you can go back and look at the link on our district website. And then the last topic that we discussed on the agenda was strategic priorities update. And we had a number of speakers, but one of them was our special guest visit from Harrison Principal Dr. Grant. We learned about the process for progress monitoring of goals and the 100-day plans. This was an extensive presentation that included a lot of details from the recent sales session that was held at Black Hawk Tech on November 20th. All schools K-12 had administrators and lead teachers in attendance to work through their 100-day plans and look at student data and dive deep and make plans for the school year. We really appreciated hearing from Dr. Grant, who shared how much she feels the work being done collaboratively as a district through that 100-day plan and sale. She said that she's been able to work together, everyone's been able to work together, and it's been very effective and meaningful from her. And she reflected particularly on when she started as a principal, the major transformation that has happened with this work in our district, where she was making these kind of annual progress plans alone in her office. And that can be very challenging for administrators to try to figure out where to go and what to do and where the progress should happen. And we have a team and a district, strong leadership that's bringing everyone together to work together, and we're stronger when we get to do that. So I think that's something to really be prideful of. There's so much more that can be discovered from that presentation, so I will direct you for that full presentation. You can look for the January 5th PPC meeting on the district website and enjoy that presentation. Our next meeting will be the first Monday in February. This is February 2nd at 4:30 right here, so you can join us there. Thanks again to my PPC team, everyone on the committee, and the directors we get to work with, and then of course the special presenters that come in to work with us. We really appreciate you. And that is all I have to say.
Thank you. Moving on, 7, summary of board requests. I am not aware of any board requests that have been submitted, but if you do have any board requests, make sure that those are forwarded to Board President Murray in the future. And with that, we get to 8, adjourn. How's that? 6:46. Just in time. All right, thank you, everyone.